last but not least, obviously, what BigCommerce event would be a BigCommerce event without a representation from BigCom? So we've got the lovely Heather and Katie from BigCom Developer Relations to give us a community update on what's coming in the future for BigCom.
Okay, cool. So here's a DevRel update from us. If you don't know us, I'd like to take a second to introduce ourselves. Well, I'll introduce myself and then I'll pass over to Katie. I'm Heather. I'm the Developer Community Program Manager here at BigCommerce. And I try to focus on trying to kind of like build programs for the community on how we can try to make it thrive from the internal side specifically is what my biggest focus has been on this past year. So I haven't been as present in the community as I would like, but it's all for good cause. So I'll pass it over to Katie to do a brief introduction, then we'll hop in.
Thanks, Heather. I'm Katie. I'm a senior developer advocate at BigCommerce. I work in pretty close lockstep with Heather, but the biggest focus of my job is representing all of you internally, like in engineering and product meetings, and then representing BigCommerce to all of you. And inherently, our goal is developer experience being massively improved and this being the best e-commerce platform to build on. So kind of a big umbrella mission, but that's what we focus on most of the time. Okay, so I'm going to talk about our year and kind of what we're thinking and what we've been working on so far. And feel free to like drop comments in or interrupt me, but I'll just kind of run through these. So the first thing is identifying opportunities. DevRel at BigCommerce is primarily focused on developer experience and working, like I said, to make this the best e-commerce platform to build on for all of you. We are constantly looking for more areas that need improvement, areas that need net new content, and areas where we can really have fun with our developer community. We're very much a work in progress, as all of you know, and we really, really rely on feedback from folks like all of you. So please don't be shy. Those of you that aren't shy can attest. We love it. It can be negative. It can be positive. We really love hearing from all of you. And we're continuing to do research and collect and analyze feedback from our community to keep driving forward. But some opportunities that we're pursuing and that are really top of mind for us right now are open source content that is kept up to date. It's a really key component there. Enablement materials like sample repos, starter repos, and code snippets to really help new and experienced developers get started with new topics, and also producing more robust documentation, among other things. So again, don't be shy, DM me, complain to me, ask me questions, send me requests, whatever. You guys are our audience and your voice really does matter to us. And we're really hoping that over the course of this year, you really see that, being put into action. The next thing is industry partnerships via events. Working with industry leaders for events, if you participated or heard about the Stripe Hackathon, that's a great example. These have had really big outcomes for us, both internally and externally, as we continue to advocate for our community. And these have been key in us attracting and getting way more resources to use for our developer community. These are really fun to host and a really great way to get our products in the hands of the developers in our ecosystem, whether those are new products or old products. And these events, like our hackathons, have surfaced a ton of very high quality feedback. And we've also seen some really innovative solutions come from folks in this community and on this call. You got to peek behind the curtain a little bit at Scott's Atomic Widgets, which was a hackathon project. And there have been a ton of cool submissions from our host, Space48. And I'm sure others on the call, I can't see the list of who's here, but I'm sure there have been cool hackathon submissions from others of you. We love seeing what people build during these events. And our product teams really love seeing what people built during these events. You guys surface gaps in functionality or things we had never thought of, which is a really, really cool benefit of these. And also they're really fun. It's more fun to do that with you guys than to do normal work. The third thing is internal enablement. We are launching a new internal program for the greater organization, BigCommerce, that is 100% focused on developer experience. So when we say we've been working on things and things are coming, we really mean it. I can't and won't take credit for this. Heather, our developer community manager, has been working tirelessly on this, and no one has more empathy for the developers, for all of you, than Heather. She's worked tirelessly to engage people internally at BigCommerce and across all of our technical teams to work towards creating more connective tissue between our internal engineers and those of you building apps, storefronts, widgets, whatever on top of that platform. So more internal enablement will inevitably lead to tighter feedback loops on our products, clearer documentation and communication about updates and things that are changing and so much more. So please keep holding tight. Things really are changing internally at BigCommerce for the better for developers. And for 2024 planning, it seems crazy to think about 2024 already, but it'll be here before we know it. So if you have ideas or feedback or anything that's just based on what's changing in the community, event ideas, feedback in general, please let us know and we can start working these things into our roadmap. We really, really love hearing from you guys. And the more you talk to us, the more we can gear everything towards you. Okay, over to you, Heather.
Okay, cool. So from all the opportunities that Katie just mentioned, here are some things that you can look forward to from us as we kind of finish off the year. So on the left side here are going to be more about events and gatherings, those being some that we sponsor or that we host, and then also some being that you all might want to put on, and, we'd sponsor those. And then on the right side, it's more about, what we're specifically working on to enable you all and also to just like lift you up. But yeah, so as y'all probably know, we have a pretty small team, but with that, our, BigCommerce devs community is incredible. All of the members there and most of all of you are really awesome. And we're really honored to even be so lucky to have, a great community that kind of surrounds us. So again, on the left side here about like events, competitions, IRL or in-person and virtual connections. This is something that we are, as you probably observed, we're really excited about. So whether that's putting on hackathons, ourselves to kind of engage some of our internal teams that, have products that they, are excited to get out into developers' hands, or whether that's, events like Become DevX, for example, which is a completely community-led initiative that we are now able to actually provide more support in, which is something that we haven't really been able to do before in the past. So, and that's kind of what Katie was talking about when it comes to, doing these bigger events with industry leaders. It really brings a lot of attention to our team and kind of our community and what we're trying to do. And it just gets everyone excited and gets more people wanting to be involved. And so that's something that you can look forward to as we put on these more, these larger events, and also y'all putting on events of your own, kind of like Become DevX, just more attention comes, and more of that brings BigCommerce folks saying, oh, I want to get involved, or I have something that I want to show, or I have something that I really want developers to try out and I want to hear their feedback on. So it's really positive, and we've kind of been seeing this kind of take off since we've been more and more active with doing events. And then on the right side here, it's all about, what we're trying to do to improve the developer experience, whether that's through having a more well-rounded community. So as Katie was mentioning, kind of improving the open source experience and also just the experience of developing on BigCommerce through, BigCommerce folks being more engaged directly in the community, and also through GitHub. So I know some of y'all have tried to contribute in the past before, or are just natural contributors. And this is something that, we've heard feedback on and that we are really trying to push. And this is a part of the program that we recently launched. So we hope that this will start to take off, and it could be gradual. So thank you again for having patience with us. But we do think that this is something that really will take off and will have a lot of value in the community. So really just meet you where you are, if that's in GitHub, that's in our developer Slack, Stack Overflow. I mean, there's a lot of spaces there where you are. And, we are trying our best to get there and have more BigCommerce voices in those spaces. And the last thing I want to talk about here, it's the solution series under promotion and visibility. This is something brand new. Katie will be launching soon. So basically, and she can, jump in and talk more about this, but it's basically going to be kind of like a show off your work or show off your solutions. So kind of like what this event has been like, people are talking about things that they're really proud of or things that they've kind of worked around and they found a really awesome way to kind of accomplish their goals. It's going to be that for internal and also for external. So if y'all have a solution that y'all would be interested in sharing, Katie's your girl. She would love to work with you on that. But the first one should be about, the first one is going to be with an engineer here at BigCommerce, and they're going to be talking about a new Node.js sample app using app extensions, which is really cool. Because like Scott was mentioning, our sample apps and our starters can really be helpful for getting your app or your storefront up and going. And this is something that we've also heard feedback on and how we want to kind of like be more present there. And this is something that's part of my program. So we are excited about all of that to kind of just kind of like make it a more well-rounded community overall. But yeah, so these are things that are all coming as we finish out the year. And then as Katie mentioned, 2024, whenever we start planning the new year, we want to hear your feedback. So if you are seeing certain trends that you really like or that you don't like, or that things that you want more of or that you don't want any more of as we finish out the year, let us know. We want to know kind of like what is more meaningful to you on these things that we're trying out, so that we can do more of them, do less of them, or however we need to pivot to make it a valuable space for you to be. And yeah, thank you so much. So that's pretty much everything. We also want to say that BigComDevX is amazing. Cheers to 2 years. Seeing everyone and bring their solutions here and just their talks. It's really awesome to see because, we hear feedback all the time, but also just like developers, like real developers on the platform bringing, what they think is the most valuable or what they think would have a lot of value to other members in the community or other builders on the platform. It's just really awesome to see like what was decided, custom checkouts, building an app, the mega menu, which has been huge. Also staging environments. Like these are all like really big deals. And it's awesome to see y'all talk about them and share, your knowledge with everyone else building on the platform. So here is a QR code. If you want to scan it, this takes you to our community landing page or our community hub in the Dev Center or our documentation site. So this is where you can stay up to date with any event that we're kind of putting on. There are a few new ones that just got published today. So if you want to check those out, we are excited to announce that we will be at the Partner Summit in Austin, Texas I think it's like in a month. So we're going to be hosting some kind of like live sessions, or just like we're going to be hosting some kind of just like lightning talks on like certain things, which our landing page is up there. So please scan and go over there to check out the lineup. But something that we're really, really excited about is the following day. So the day after the summit here in Austin, Texas, we're going to be hosting a meetup. So it's our very first one, which we're so stoked for. So if you are going to be in Austin or if you are local at all, please come by, register on the landing page so we can send you the details of the location, all of that. But yeah, Katie, is there anything that you want to say here before we close out?
No, I think you crushed it. And like all of these talks were so great today. Thank you so much to Space 48 and to everyone else who spoke. We just like love this event. This is so cool. So thank you.
Yes.
How would you feel about 2 very quick questions?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So the first question from Ben. Ben says, are there any plans to start a BC Stack exchange? Slack is great, but a lot of questions get answered and then very quickly buried. So that's like a Stack Overflow for BigCommerce.
Yes. Yeah. So we have talked with Stack Overflow before about like some opportunities there. It is something that we are thinking about. It's not something that I can say that we have committed to doing, especially like this year, but we are in communication with Stack Overflow for future opportunities. So it is an option. And if anyone else feels that way, that they, really would like that, please let us know. The more the merrier on, hearing from that, but it is an option.
Cool. Then last question very quickly, which comes from Nate, is, are there any plans for upgrading the default page builder modules, ADA compliance, and a more robust text editor with a heading tag option? So I guess, is there anything on the roadmap to upgrade page builder modules?
Yeah, so there are some things that are in the works that are kind of like hush right now that I can't really talk about, but a lot of feedback that all of our community has shared over kind of like pain points working with, page builder, and kind of like the opinionated nature that Stencil can be sometimes. There are big movements kind of going on to kind of tackle all of these, and that would be one of them. I don't know off the top of my head if there are any specific things for page builder right now in its state, but overall, there are movements to improve all of this feedback regarding the pain points with page builder and also just Stencil storefronts in general. If you want to DM me on DevSlack, I can probably talk a little bit more about that and also just like look more into specific actions that are happening right now. So please send me a DM.